tackles.
We find ourselves at the stadium that played host to Super Bowl 52, the wondrous U.S. Bank Stadium in Minneapolis. Today we've got a Week 8 matchup on tap here between the Chicago Bears and the Minnesota Vikings. Lurching closer toward the midway point of this NFL season, and we're underway on EA Sports. And no run back here, so they'll bring it out to the 25. Now a first down throw, Kelly. And that is caught on the right sideline, but out of bounds, says the line judge. The throw took him a little too far. It's second down. This defense for the Vikings, they were terrific last week in the victory over Kansas City.
And I think our statistician, we ended up having to bring the blue tent and put it around him for a while because he was developing a hand injury from having to write down all the turnovers this team forced. 5, 6, 7, 8. Absolutely unbelievable. I hope he'll recover.
They'll run. This is Khalil Herbert. And he's upended at the 33 following a good pickup of 8.
There's so many definitions of a complete back. I think most people think a guy who can block, a guy who can catch, and a guy who can run. But how about when you put it all together as a runner and you can fake people out, you can be shifty, and also run with some power and break tackles, as we just saw on that pickup.
To the sideline, he's got the catch, and he kept the feet in bounds. Well done. First down for the Bears, a gain of 15. Okay, so now the question, how did he get that wide open?
Well, we both know that he shouldn't, because from the time they handed out scouting reports before this game, he was circled, starred, everything. Find him, cover him. But sometimes you can scheme a guy open. You put the receivers in a bunch. Maybe you move some motion. Maybe you put them on the backside of a formation, and all of a sudden you've got a better matchup. Every now and then, the offensive guys, they figure a way to get him open, even with everyone keeping eyes on him.
And that's certainly a guy they want to keep trying to scheme open. On second down, a run with Herbert. And he'll be brought down, it looks like right at the 40. 4 yards the pickup, first down.
2nd and 1, and people want to run the football. This is where every back in the league is supposed to do exactly what we just saw there. Pick up the first down.
A play fake, now Kelly. And this throw a bit late as he couldn't reach back for it.
Nice progress down the field, was halted by that incompletion. They could try for some 7 yards here to get things moving again, or keep throwing it and pushing it downfield to try and pick up bigger yardage.
A nice opening right away as he'll maneuver his way up to the 32-yard line. 9 yards, not quite enough, and they'll be left now with 3rd and 1.
So much of the game today, we're looking for hybrid players, guys who can do a combination of jobs. And anyone who plays a strong safety position, now more than ever, is a hybrid-type player. Half defensive back that covers passes, and half linebacker that makes tackles. We just saw the linebacker make that play.
It'll be a pickup of 4, good enough to earn him yet another first down. So they kept it simple there, CD, only needing the short gain to move the chains, so they didn't want to go with a deep throw. They just go with that safer, shorter throw and able to convert.
Nothing wrong with that at all, partner. Check the box, right? Make sure you pick up the first down. Offense is getting established. You're moving the ball. You're not turning it over. Check, check, check. They like what they're doing early in the game.
So just 3 yards on the completion there. And that'll bring up second down. To throw is Kelly. That's going to be complete on the sideline, but, you know, that throw left him no room to run, and the good footwork nearly all for naught. And a good sign for them right now to have their young quarterback looking confident on the opening drive.
Now, we haven't met a young quarterback, a veteran quarterback. It doesn't matter. We haven't met a quarterback yet that doesn't tell us he's confident about his abilities, right?
That's true.
But when you're young, it's really important to get off to a good start because it does build up that confidence and allows him to play better as the game goes on.
Especially crucial here on the road. Oh, and now movement and a whistle, and they may have to rethink their plans on 4th down. On 4th down, Kelly. Oh, that's into a sea of bodies, and it's intercepted. And he will be taken down, but there is a penalty marker on the field, and it's in the backfield. A lack of discipline defensively on 4th down, and now that leads to a 1st and 10. From the red zone now, they'll look to throw. A quick throw there going to be batted away and incomplete. Yes, sir. How about an attaboy there on 1st down? Got his hand in and knocked it away. So after the incompletion on 1st, now 2nd and 10. Kelly to throw. Finding his safety valve here. That's complete. And he'll be brought down this time at the 5-yard line. They get 7 out of that, so they're left with a 3rd and 3. Coming up here looking for 3 yards to pick up the 1st. To throw, Kelly. Touchdown! Treston Ebner, his 3rd touchdown now on the year. And the Bears get the upper hand as they're on the board first here this afternoon. Santos with the extra point, and that makes the score 7-0.
Bears 7, Vikings 9.
Now after the touchdown, here's Santos to kick this one away. And here comes a return from just beyond the goal line. And ultimately, he stopped right where he would have been if he had simply gone down to a knee at the 25. Here's Joe Mixon as they start on the ground. And not much to speak of. Call it a 1-yard gain up to the 26. Here's 2nd and 9, just a yard on that last run. On play action, they'll throw. Pressure, and he's taken down. A Bear sack. Bilal Nichols in there to take him down. They were able to win last week despite him being sacked 4 times. They might need to tighten the reins a little bit, or this one may not end in another victory. You're right about that. They can't count on just winning the game no matter what happens. They can't let the accumulation of hits and harassment in the pocket get to their quarterback. Got to stop that, give him clean lanes to throw the football in order to have a better chance to win again this week. And that's caught. It's Brian Edwards. They do get 18, but even that won't be quite enough. It's 4th down.
There's another example what defensive coaches constantly preach, not allowing any run after the catch. They give up a few more yards than they wanted to, but they were able to get him down quickly and force a 4th down.
They're going to try and throw. And he's got his man in stride, complete. And he'll take this to the other side of midfield before going out of bounds. A big roll of the dice on 4th and 1, but it pays off. They convert.
Charles, their first drive of the game, and already they're taking chances here, but they get the 4th down conversion. I'm curious, do you think that that's something they game plan for on the opening drive if it came up, or is that something that happened organically?
I think that they game plan for it, Brandon, and when you think about it, let's just say it. The word analytics is a big part of how everyone looks at a game nowadays, but it's not just the analytics. It's a coach willing to be daring, willing to be bold, and they certainly were there.
Give the rookie another one on this opening drive and a first down with it. A nice start, Charles, for the first-year passer. He's come out, made a few plays, nice plays to begin this contest.
He certainly has, and if he finishes off this drive with a touchdown pass, I vote we don't call him rookie anymore. We'll move him right to veteran and continue from there.
And he stopped right at the 25 after a gain of 5. After the pickup of 5, here's 2nd and 5.
A gain of 5 brings up 2nd and 5.
He'll look to throw. Under pressure, and he'll go down. They'll sack him on what ought to be the final play of this first quarter. After 7-0 on EA Sports. A long way to go here on 3rd down for the 8th play of the drive. Now back to throw. He's going to let this go. Back of the end zone. And unable to connect. Incomplete. I'll give them credit. They took their shot, but it's going to bring up 4th down. Now the Vikings will send out the special teams crew here for a field goal try. This one from 48 yards away. And his kick is good. And they are on the board, but still trailing. It's 7-3.
So both teams come away with points on their opening drives, and they still trail. They answer the touchdown with a field goal, but at least able to break that goose egg here early.
And that is what's important, right? Because they didn't let that initial touchdown go unanswered. Took the ball themselves, moved it downfield, and put it through the post for 3 points. Game on.
At the line, prepping for their next drive, the Bears offense.
As the offense begins another drive here, pretty simple, Charles. They want to carbon copy what happened the last time out when they ended their drive in the end zone.
You're right about that, partner. Sounds pretty simple, doesn't it? Just score again, but we know it's not that simple because we don't just make adjustments at halftime if you're a good football team. You spend that time on the sideline, you study what's on the notes and the tablets, and you make those adjustments, prevent a repeat of the last drive. Series to series, the best teams, that's how they get it done.
We'll find out here soon enough whether those adjustments are enough defensively.
Patrick Jones from his outside linebacker spot, forcing the sack for a loss of 8. The Bears on 3rd down. They've been good, 3 for 4 thus far. This is 3rd and 11. Kelly. He's going to loft one deep left side here. And that will be incomplete. They weren't scared to let it fly, but it falls to the ground and brings up 4th down.
4th down, so they send out Trenton Gill.
He was only asked to punt once in the victory last week as he sends this one away. And taken right at the 35. It'll be 37 yards there on the punt. And the Vikings will take over here 1st and 10. Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. And last time able to get 3. It's not what they wanted. They wanted 6, but they got at least something. They mustered something out of the drive.
They'll take it. I like the way you described it. Not ideal, but they'll take it. Anything to put some points on the board. But this time on offense, they don't even want to see the field goal kicker trot on the field. They want that ball in the end zone.
Yeah, they'll be going for 6.
They show run with 3 tight ends here on first down.
Mixon with a first down carry. The loss of a full 3 yards, and now it's second down.
The tackle made back at the 44-yard line.
Back to throw. And he can't get rid of it. He's taken down. There for the sack, B.J. Hill.
These sacks now, they're starting to pile up, Charles. And that front 7 defensively, they've had their way with this offensive line.
And I think at this stage, we have to start thinking about different play calls. We've got to start helping this quarterback out because the entire game he's been under siege. I don't care what the down and distance. They've got to get the ball out of his hands a lot quicker.
Need something from deep in the bag of tricks here after first and second down went backwards. It's third and very long. Looking to throw.
Oh, he tries to force it in, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Jaquan Brisker. And the Bears are going to take possession here at their own 47-yard line.
Third and long that time. He was trying to make something happen, but a little too risky.
Well, the field tilted on him. And what I mean by that is what you said. Third and long. Got to push it downfield to try and pick up the first down. Defensive backs live for this situation. And they took advantage of the young man right there.
On first and 10, Kelly. And it's incomplete. Took a shot, couldn't connect.
Sure, that pass was incomplete as they made an attempt to get a big one downfield. But that's okay because the second part of that is if you don't get the completion, at least you've told the defense you're trying to stretch them out a little bit, and they may have to change accordingly.
And down he goes at the 49, a 3-yard pickup.
Well, that's a good start to this drive on the defensive side of the ball.
Force the incompletion on first down. Then you're able to shut down the running play on second.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised now. A little bit of pressure going at the quarterback in the expected passing situation.
So 7 yards from the first down here as they come up to the line of scrimmage.
Now Kelly. And that will be incomplete. So it doesn't look like they're going to be able to build with the turnover.
Well, the defense certainly did its part to get him the football. But you're exactly right. It looks like they have to punt this one away. And it's not a turnover, but doesn't it feel like one after grabbing the momentum with the defensive play?
Yeah, and they had all that momentum after getting the football and now zapped right back in the other direction. And a great job on special teams to down it as this will be marked out inside the 5-yard line.
That punt was near perfection as it checked up inside the 5-yard line. You never know where these things are going to go, do you?
No, what was it? You got a John Heisman quote about that,
yeah,
right?
He said the football is roughly a prolate spheroid, which means it's going to bounce funny, and you never know where it's going to end up.
The Minnesota offense about ready to get this next drive underway.
As the offense comes out here, Charles, maybe perhaps a bit more of a focus on the run game for this drive after.
And now off to the races down the right side. He's at the 40, past the 20. Touchdown, Vikings. So their backs were against the wall, deep back in their own territory, and they run it all the way down into the end zone.
That takes a lot of coordination for an offensive team, doesn't it? Because, let's face it, it's really not a surprise that they're going to run the ball in that situation. Backed up that close to their own end zone, you usually do call running plays, trying to be safe. Instead, it turns into an electrical run, a bolt for your team, and off he goes to the races.
And no effort to bring this one out. It's a touchback.
The Bears offense ready to go for their next drive.
As we eat closer and closer to intermission, Charles, remember last time out they punted They would love to get points here, especially if this is going to be their final possession in the first half.
Yeah, and this is what close games feel like because the pressure is on both sides, but sometimes the pressure is a little bit higher on the team with the slight edge because they're trying to hold on to that, trying to increase it. Let's see how this one continues.
This is intercepted. And his guys will take over at the 30-yard line. Now the Bears going to call the first of their timeouts. They'll have 2 remaining as we step aside here in this second quarter. Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive.
Well, partner, you know, coaches always say that every play is designed to score a touchdown. Sometimes that's not really true, but last drive, that was the case. One play to get into the end zone, and now they'll try to duplicate that success here.
And it's rare for those moments to happen. Incredible when they do. And you saw the celebration. Pure, unbridled joy after that one.
To throw now on first down.
This goes out wide for Mixon. And they'll get this down to the 42-yard line.
2 minutes remaining in the first half. 10-7 our score. A reminder, once we hit halftime, as we do all season, we'll send it down to Jonathan Coachman in Orlando. He'll have all the stats and scores from games in progress around the NFL.
The best multitasker in the business, the coach.
2nd and 6. No, scratch that. 2nd and 7.
Mixing up the middle. 3 yards is half of what they needed. Now can they get the other 3 here on 3rd down?
This guy's well on his way now to a big game on the ground. It's another good run there. Puts him over the century mark in yardage, and we're still in the second quarter.
A good chance this is 4-down territory if they're unable to convert. But right now looking at a 3rd and 3. They'll look to throw here. And it's intercepted.
Picked up by Jalen Johnson. And the Bears are going to take over once again at their own 37-yard line.
A tough adjustment to the NFL throughout his rookie season, and his problem with turnovers is only exacerbated by his early showing today. That's a couple for him here in this first half, and he's cleared the double-digit mark for the entire season.
At the line, prepping for their next drive, the Bears offense. And now with still more than a minute to go in what's been a tight game, you figure we'll try to see them move the ball downfield.
And remember, they get the kickoff to start the second half, so this is a golden opportunity for them to go down there and put up a couple of sixes back-to-back. What a momentum swing that would be.
Yeah, you might be able to get a 2-for-1 without ever even giving up the football.
But they certainly made a point of getting him involved in the passing game here in the first half. They must have seen something in the scouting that said, hey, we can capitalize on him getting the ball possibly in the open field. And I think in the second half, that may loosen up the defense a little bit to get the running game going back inside.
He's going to loft one deep left side here. Touchdown, Bears!
Darnell Mooney,
52 yards.
and the Bears will take the lead here in the final minute of the first half.
Santos able to tack on the extra point, and the lead is now 14-10.
14. Vikings 10.
Now after the touchdown, here's Santos to kick this one away.
From a couple yards deep, he'll bring it out of the end zone. And ultimately cannot get this out to the 25-yard line as he's dropped at the 23.
At their own 23-yard line.
The Minnesota offense about ready to get this next drive underway. And with them trailing, there is still enough time to try to string a few plays together, maybe get into field goal range. And he's not going to go anywhere as they get him down behind the line of scrimmage. Slot man moves right.
At the 22-yard line.
Second and 11. And he'll go down. The Bears get there for the sack. It's a loss of a yard, so they'll wind up crediting him with a sack, and it brings up third down. And you see the clock almost empty, so this is likely the last play in the second quarter. This time they stay on the ground. So we've reached halftime here in a 4-point game. As we'll head down to Orlando, that's where we find our man Jonathan Coachman at our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach. And we welcome you back now. Alongside Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gordon, getting set for quarter number 3 here. The Vikings set to receive the second half kickoff, and they trail it here as we resume play. From a yard or two deep, here comes a return. And he'll be brought down shy of the 20, so the decision to bring it out of the end zone, not a good one.
At their own 18-yard line.
Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive.
Well, Charles, we saw a pretty entertaining first half, close ball game. Remember there toward the end of the second quarter, the opposition scored to take the lead. Now we'll see if these guys can get a score of their own to regain that lead.
Yeah, they want to have that type of a response, don't they? Because they want to find a way to take control of this ball game one more time. Gauntlet's been thrown down. They want to see if they're ready to answer it.
The first down run got 5. Here's 2nd and 5. Again, it's Mixon. And maybe a measure of revenge there. He's had his way in this one, but this time they get him behind the line.
Behind the line of scrimmage. A loss of 1. It's now 3rd and 5.
They'll drop to throw. Got Edwards now on the slant. And he will have a Vikings first down as they're able to get the third down conversion.
First and 10 at the 42-yard line.
Out of the shotgun, they run with Mixon. And he's going to take this ahead for right around 3 yards, but no more than that. 2nd down.
Not a huge carry there on first down, but not all of them will be. But still, all in all, a positive play for the offense. It's all about picking up at least a few to set up what you're going to do here on 2nd down.
3 yards on that last carry. Here's 2nd and 7. Back to throw here. Complete. Smith has it. Calling a gain of 3 on the play. And they're going to face a third down.
I know sometimes we can get fooled when we watch him make catches, as we just saw him do there, because he really looks like a wide receiver the way he goes about his business.
Yeah, 230, 240 range.
Yeah, not super huge. Maybe not counted on to be that inline point-of-attack blocker that we used to have in the good old days. But you can flex him out. You can run wide receiver routes with him. You can make him a primary target, and that's how he'll shred a defense.
On 3rd and short, they'll try and pick it up through the air. And And this one is incomplete.
Well, this at least is the right idea. I think they've got to get the tight end more involved.
He had just one target in the first half, incomplete. Now incomplete here with the first target of the second half.
Yeah, should not stop them at all from going back to him, though. Find him. Find him.
Fair catch called for and collected right at the 10-yard line. 37 yards on the punt with no return. And it'll be 1st and 10 Bears from deep in their own territory. The Bears offense ready to go for their next drive. Now Herbert to start the drive. And able to get this one out just shy of the 25 at the 24. Give him 13 yards on the opening play in the drive and also give him a first down. Play action, it's Kelly. Looking deep in the direction of Cooper. And that's caught inside the 30. A huge play there for Chicago. 73 yards.
In our pregame meeting, all they talked about was keeping him hemmed in and wanting him to make his throws from the pocket because they knew he was pretty dangerous if he got outside, and he just showed it right there.
And he's into the end zone. Touchdown, Bears. Khalil Herbert with his 6th rushing touchdown on the year. And they are able to add on to their advantage. Santos with the extra point, and that makes it a 21-10 game.
Bears 21, Vikings 10.
Now after the touchdown, here's Santos to kick this one away. And here comes a return from just beyond the goal line. And he'll wind up getting a couple extra yards here for his trouble and bringing it out of the end zone as he's down at the 27. The Minnesota offense about ready to get this next drive underway. They'll look to make some inroads here, trailing 21-10 as they come up on a 1st and 10. And he'll get this up just shy of the 30. The last run got 3. Now here's 2nd and 7.
A 3-yard pickup brings up 2nd and 7.
They'll set up to throw. He's going to go for a big play downfield. And that will be incomplete. Tried to dial up the long one way out there, but it'll be 3rd down.
With a rookie quarterback out there, you're definitely going to find out how he handles adversity because this one so far hasn't gone according to plan. He's got to fight through it and show him what he's made of.
This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on 3rd down. He'll drop to throw. To Mixon on the check down. And he's going to be stopped here a few yards short of the first as the tackle is made at the 33.
A 4-yard gain. It's 4th down.
They'll try and throw for it here. And he's going to be intercepted for the 3rd time thus far. Picked off by Jaquan Brisker. Certainly not what he was hoping for, Charles. That's now 3 interceptions in this ball game.
But there's a lot of knowledge to be gleaned every time you throw an interception if you do things the right way. And hasn't there been a pretty darn good quarterback along the way who threw a lot of interceptions early, learned from them, and became great later?
Who would that be?
That'd be one Peyton Manning. Threw 28 his rookie year. That's the NFL record. How'd things turn out for him?
I think okay. He's a guy in all the commercials now, right?
Yeah, I think he's doing okay.
Throwing on 1st down, but this one winds up to be incomplete. Glad to have you with us from Minneapolis. 3rd quarter here, 2nd and 10. Now Kelly. And he fires one that's intercepted. Dante Jackson picks it. We're holding on to the lead at this stage in the 2nd half. Those are the types of
plays you really want to try and stay away from.
And when you're a rookie, keeping your focus is something that you still have to work on all the time because there's so many distractions around you between the crowd noise and your coaches and your teammates. But the other part, you've got to learn how to finish. It's the 2 F's for a rookie quarterback.
Trying to shake off the interception. He'll look to throw. And he'll toss this one incomplete. Seeing no options, he throws it away.
Well, defensively, they haven't let him just sit in the pocket and get comfortable, and that's opposite a lot of game plans in today's NFL. Ordinarily, you're trying to keep the quarterback hemmed in. In this case, they brought the heat, and if he flushes out, they're fine with that, and they force another incompletion.
After the incomplete pass, here now is 2nd and 10. A draw play for Mixon. And he'll be taken down near the 20 at the 21. So they've been unable to capitalize on a great field position as of yet. Here's 3rd and 9.
3rd down and 9.
Out of the gun, they'll look to throw. And his pass is intercepted for the 4th time today.
Kyler Gordon picks it off. And the Bears will have solid field position here as they take over at their 45-yard line.
Well, it certainly felt like he was going to challenge this defense no matter what, and he stepped up and tried to throw it to the outermost edge of the zone coverage, and they were more than ready for it. The problem now is if they are limited in what they're doing throwing the football, they got to figure out how to move it without being able to throw it to the outside and throw it downfield.
Not his best throw there, but where we sit right now in the 3rd quarter, he's had a pretty good game throwing the football.
He certainly has, and it's not exactly the point where we're doing 4-minute offense yet, but they've got to think about, I'm not going to say milking the clock, but understanding clock management here on out.
A 2nd down pass play there, but it's incomplete.
A couple of quick incompletions, and now they're just 1 more away from getting off the field. They've got options now. Could they dial up a blitz here or just drop everyone into coverage to crowd the throwing lanes?
So back-to-back incompletions, and that has him staring at a 3rd and 10. Now Kelly. And a nice job there defensively to contain him and get him to the ground a few yards short of the 1st down marker. And now the Vikings are going to stop it here on defense with a timeout. It's just their first, so 2 remaining as they burn one here in this 3rd quarter. On 4th down, the punt team is on as this is sent away. And that'll hit at the 5 and go into the end zone for a touchback.
At their own 20-yard line.
Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. And they've sort of lost their way, partner. How do they recalibrate and get this proverbial train back on track?
Well, this is where leadership really comes into play. How's the head coach handling it? The offensive coordinator? Sometimes they just make a joke. All right, guys, had your fun? All right.
Throw it out the window.
Yeah, let's get back on track here. And sometimes that'll work just fine.
I guess it's time now to lean on that leadership. 2nd and 9 now from the 21. They'll look to throw. Pressure, and he's taken down. A Bear sack. It'll go as a loss of about 6, and now it brings up 3rd.
So one quick, easy analysis about why they've struggled so far. They keep putting themselves in third and long situations. They just took another sack right there.
And the offensive film session tomorrow may be a little longer than it normally is.
Not a lot of positive grades will be handed out thus far.
This offense on third down today, a pretty anemic, a very anemic. 1 for 9 thus far. This is 3rd and 14. He'll look to throw. And now here is another interception. Eddie Jackson picks it. And the Bears are going to take possession of the football. And you have to wonder, Charles, a game like this, 5 interceptions, what does this do to the psyche of a young quarterback?
Well, based on the fact that he's still out there and he threw a 5th interception, I'm wondering if his head coach believes that he's really strong mentally and wants him.
Got his man, and it's caught for a Chicago touchdown. Josh Oliver, a 15-yard touchdown grab. And the Bears add on to their lead, and they are also closing in on a 5th straight victory. Santos able to tack on the extra point, and the lead is up to 18 now. Now after the touchdown, here's Santos to kick this one away. From a couple yards deep, he'll bring it out of the end zone. A lane opens here. He's past the 30. And able to break this out all the way to the 38-yard line. Great return.
At their own 38-yard line.
The Minnesota offense about ready to get this next drive underway.
Well, I think that the folks here had hoped that maybe this home atmosphere would carry their guys to a surprise victory, but it does not appear that that's going to be the case. Just too much to handle on the other side in this one.
That's good. Vikings, first down. 1st and 10 at the 49-yard line.
They'll look to throw here on 1st down. Open man, he's got him, the tight end Hockenson.
And he's going to be taken down right at the 40-yard line.
So signs of life in what's been a dormant offense in this second half. Here's 1st and 10. And he's going to be brought down here in the backfield. Sam Hubbard making his presence felt in the backfield. And you hate to say it with a rookie quarterback. He's done some good things, but overall, looked a little bit overwhelmed back there, hasn't he?
He certainly has, but in his defense, he hadn't had a lot of time to throw the football. You like the way I said that? In his defense.
In his defense, I got it.
See
Yeah.
what I did there?
Yeah, he needs better protection, that's for sure.
And they're going to get this down near the 35-yard line. They'll need 5 on this play to move the sticks.
That's a gain of 9. Makes it 3rd and 5.
They're going to look to throw.
And this will be caught by Edwards. And he'll be hauled down at about the 30-yard line.
Would it be safe to say that as precise as routes are supposed to be run in the NFL, maybe they're not quite as precise in college ball?
That's accurate, yeah.
And I think we saw a college route in the NFL there. Just find the soft spot, find the dead zone, and find the 1st down. And that's what he just did.
And he's going to be taken down back around the 35-yard line. Protection certainly going to need to be a bit better here on 2nd and 16. He'll look to throw. Over the middle, and it's incomplete.
They lead big, and a major part of that has been how they've taken their play to a whole new level this second half. No points allowed since the break, and you can add another incompletion to the total number that they forced in this runaway contest.
A long way to go here on 3rd down for the 8th play of the drive. They'll set up a throw. And it's intercepted at the goal line.
Kyler Gordon picks it off. And the Bears are going to have it here at their own 15. They brought the house that time on the young rookie, maybe a little rattled through the pick.
And you have to be prepared for a lot of pressure as a rookie quarterback because most defensive coordinators are going to test you that way. So when you see that, the ball's got to get out of your hands quickly, and that means your receivers have to understand they have to break off their routes quickly as well.
At the line, prepping for their next drive, the Bears offense. And after the interception, they are sitting in an even better spot with the ball and a comfortable fourth-quarter lead.
Nice rhythm throw there on first down. He located his tight end, made a nice easy pitch and catch.
Hoping he can break a tackle or two. Wasn't able to do that there, but still good yardage. Letting one fly deep for Cooper. And he's going to be intercepted a third time. Picked off by Lewis Seen. The rookie was trying to push it downfield, but the safety bit him.
And he'll learn that you have to hold the safety. And you do that with your head movement, your eyes, sometimes your shoulders. Hold the safety so that you can get back to the throw that you really want to make. He got so excited thinking his guy was open that he made it easy for the defensive back to go get the football.
They go back to the air here after the INT on the last drive. Nowhere to turn here, and he's going to go down. Back at about the 37-yard line.
The tackle made back at the 37-yard line.
Now back to throw. That's complete to Justin Jefferson. And he's brought down inside the 20 at the 18-yard line. Back to throw. And the throw there going to be incomplete.
He didn't just deny a big throw there. He broke that one up in the red zone. An excellent play, one that may help save points on the board when this drive is over.
They'll run with Mixon. And the surge is going to be too much defensively. He's hit and taken down to the backfield. Denied on fourth down is Joe Mixon. And the Bears will get the football back. Now a first down throw. Kelly looking deep in the direction of Cooper. And a penalty flag comes in as that one winds up incomplete, but the contact is going to move the ball well downfield. After the penalty, a fresh set of downs. It's 1st and 10. Kelly. And he's got his receiver, Cooper. Touchdown! Amari Cooper, 37 yards. And the Bears are closing in on a 6-2 start as they extend this fourth-quarter advantage. Santos with the extra point, and they open the lead up now to 25.
Vikings 10.
Now after the touchdown, here's Santos to kick this one away. From a yard or two deep, here comes a return. And beyond the 20, but not by much. In fact, just a yard pass there to the 21.
Their own 22-yard line.
Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. We're facing a big fourth-quarter deficit here. Things not looking good. You know, this offense, though, they've been in the top half of the NFL so far this season. But in this one, their defense has really struggled. They'll try and start this drive in the air. Under a heavy rush, and down he goes. And we are inside of 2 minutes left in this lopsided affair.
Work to be done here on 2nd and 16 after the sack. Inside handoff to Mixon. And he'll take this up only to about his 18-yard line.
Tall task ahead of him here, needing a full 15 yards to move the chains.
Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. In trouble here, and down he goes. Back at the 8-yard line. Sam Hubbard able to record his 5th sack of the season.
Oh, you can just see it in their body language. They're starting to see victory on the horizon now, and if it comes to fruition, they got to give a game ball to the front 7. Defensive line has taken charge and controlled this game. Face a challenge of stopping this opposing offense, and they've done so with ease.
And here's Ryan Wright now.
As the drive goes backwards, so he's on to punt it away. And here's a very low-line drive, almost whiffed on it. So that'll be marked down as a 19-yard punt. And it'll be a short field for the Bears as they take over 1st and 10. Line of scrimmage, the 31 now on 1st and 10. That one looks like he'll throw here. And he's got Cooper on the out route. That's complete. And they are going to score again. Yet another touchdown as they just add to their totals.
Another touchdown through the air for them and for this rookie quarterback at the helm.
Oh, this is blocked. It's picked up. A live ball here. Taking it right down Broadway. The 40. The 20. And he takes it the distance across the goal line for 2 points.
Well, you figure with a veteran kicker out there, these extra points almost automatic, but this one turns into 2 points the other way.
And we both know it's hard to put it on him. I think there's a breakdown in the protection, but guess what? It does go against his record.
And here comes a return from just beyond.
Now a hit and a loose football. And this is picked up by the Bears. And that should just about do it. They return it to the end zone, sealing it with a defensive touchdown. Santos able to tack on the extra point. And this one was over a while ago as they just add on to that big lead. And you can bet they're preaching 2 hands on the ball here as the kick's away following that fumble return. And he'll elect not to return this one, so they'll bring it out to the 25 on the touchback. The Minnesota offense about ready to get this next drive underway.
Where we stand right now in the 4th quarter, this one pretty much out of reach. And, Charles, I know they're going to be disappointed about several things with this ball game, but the self-inflicted wounds, they've had several turnovers. You would have to think that's going to be something they're going to discuss heavily in the film session in the coming days.
You're absolutely right about that, partner, because they're going to have to sit in that film room and watch every error that they made and figure out how to not do it in the future. And mentally, I think a lot of the guys are already starting to think about, okay, how do we put this behind us and get better for the next time out? This, they'll use as